Now, did the police communicate? Did they communicate their presence? Did they give clear instructions? Did they give warnings prior to firing? And when we go through the video on that, I think the answer is a resounding yes, right? There were 4 cops. They had him surrounded. They were presumably instructing him on what to do or what not to do. And it was pretty clear that he didn't want to hear it, right? And there were 4 cops giving him lawful orders. A lot of people say that that's an excuse to shoot somebody. If you disobey a cop's order, apparently you get shot in the back 7 or 8 times if the cop feels like it. So because this gentleman was walking away from them, that's justification. Well, not in my book, not even remotely close. But the point is that the police, from what we can see in the video, they very clearly were communicating to him. We can't hear the audio again, but I'm going to presume that they were warning him, stop, we'll shoot, stop, we'll shoot. He had his gun pulled for a very long time. And so when we go through our analysis, we're going to give 1 point to the police, 1 point to the cops for not for actually doing an adequate job communicating their presence and their instructions. Now, the next point that we want to take a look at is whether these cops drew their weapons simultaneously. The reason why I think this is an important factor is because if you see multiple cops all drawing at the same time, they're responding very quickly, right? This is a situation that's developing in real time. They're responding quickly to it. So if they all respond and they all pull their weapons out at the same time, that means they all must be perceiving, presumably, a threat. They're not communicating because it's happening too quickly. They can't say, hey, Joe, did you see that? Are you pulling your gun? Yeah, I did see that. Are you going to pull your gun? I think, yeah, let's both pull our guns together because this seems justified. It's not doing that. They're all independently coming to their own conclusion that there's a verifiable threat. And so as we go through this video, do we see that? Do we see other officers pulling their weapons in response to something that Jacob Blake did, or are they responding to the shots? Are they responding to what the other officer was doing? So let's take a look through it. Let's scrub back through this portion of the video and let's take a look, because we're going to see quickly. He's going to come around and we see one cop for sure has his weapon pulled, but I don't see anybody else. Now, this cop is also going to come around, but he does not, looks like, let's see. Do we see a weapon? So that's his right hand. Looks like he's got something there, but we can't really see. So that's the first cop. Now his gun is pulled. The second cop is right behind him. And do we see a weapon? So it looks like yes, there it is. So he does pull his draw at the same time, his gun at the same time. So what is he seeing there? He's looking in. This other cop is looking in. They're both looking at the same thing. Both have their guns drawn. Now, it looks like his gun was drawn maybe right there. So he's pulling it. Okay. Let's take a look. It's really hard to tell when he pulls that. So he could have pulled it back up. Kind of looks like it's pulled right there, right? That looks like a gun to me. He's got his hand in the gun type of mode, but then we lose him out of frame from this civilian video. And then we don't really see whether or not it is pulled because it's not in frame, and there it is. So it's hard to tell. I do think that it looks like he had his gun pulled prior to the actual shooting taking place. So what it looks like to me, so this one can go either way actually. So it looks to me, my analysis is that it looks like his gun is actually drawn before he turns the corner. So as Jacob was running away, it looks like his hand already had his gun drawn. So basically both of these cops have their guns drawn prior to Jacob getting into the car, which means they seems to imply like they both think this is a threat that is happening, which in my mind goes to the cops. That is to their benefit. If they both thought that this situation was dangerous enough that it warranted both of them drawing their guns quickly, then I think that actually goes to the police favor. So what we're going to do is we're going to give that to the police because there were two cops who independently and simultaneously pulled their weapons out. Now, the converse argument there, of course, is that both of them made a mistake in drawing their guns at this point in time, and I can see that also. But we don't know enough here. So if I have to, go one way or the other, I'm going to default to the police on this one because both of them obviously were there. Both of them knew more than I do about what was going on, what that conversation was that was taking place, and they both pulled their weapons out as he was running away and turning the corner. So that leads me to believe that maybe both had a good basis for why this person was a threat, why Jacob was a threat. Now, as I said, the flip side of that argument is that they both shouldn't have pulled their guns. There was no imminent threat. He did not have any weapons on him. There was no imminent danger. He didn't look like he had any weapons. He was just fleeing. Their guns should not have been drawn because you draw your gun when you intend to use it and kill somebody. That's what a gun is for. It's not to sort of enter into negotiations or anything of that sort. It's to kill somebody. So both of these cops drew their gun. The flip side of the argument is they drew them prematurely. They should not have done that. If that's the case, if we get some more evidence that something comes out or there was other video footage that comes out, then we may modify that. But for now, that point is going over to the police.